Today, we are diving into the world of Altan. It's a place where, honestly, the laws of physics are kinda negotiable. A cosmos where reality itself literally bends to the power of belief. So let's get into how any of that is even possible.
Really think about that for a second. What if you were walking somewhere, and the path ahead just wasn't fixed? What if it shifted and reformed based entirely on what you believed to be true? In Altan, that's not some philosophical question. It's just how things work.
And this quote from the source material just nails it, right? Moving from point A to point B isn't just about walking. It's an act of choosing what you believe, and that choice has real, physical consequences on the world around you.
So how does this actually function? Well, in Altan, reality is this thing called a resonant canvas. It's not some static, unchanging stage where things happen. No, instead, every single person, every culture is actively painting their own version of reality onto this canvas just by perceiving it. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of how a world like this can even exist. The whole system is built on this fascinating two-layered model. And if you can wrap your head around these two layers, you'll understand pretty much everything about Altan.
So first up, you've got what's called the equation layer. And the best way to think about this is like the universe's source code. It contains all the raw, unfiltered potential of everything that could possibly exist. It's pure possibility.
But then, on top of that, you have the viewport layer. Now this is the filter. It's the lens that a culture or even a person uses to look at all that raw potential. It takes the infinite what could be from the equation layer and shapes it into a specific how it is. This is what determines your experience of space, time, cause and effect, the whole shebang.
Here's a great way to picture it. Imagine the equation layer is every single radio station in the world, all broadcasting at once. It's just a chaotic mess of noise, right? Well, your culture's viewport is the tuner on your radio. It lets you dial into one specific frequency, so you can hear one clear song. But the person next to you, they might be tuned into a completely different station, hearing a totally different reality.
And this is the stage where all this mind-bending stuff happens. The planet Altan itself is a torus, a giant donut shape. This is the physical canvas where all those different viewpoints, all those different realities are constantly being drawn and redrawn.
Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like for the people living there? Let's take a look at a few examples of how different cultures see the exact same world.
Okay, get this. This table shows us how 3 different cultures experience the exact same place, the chasms of Vibris. First, you've got the Tyrians. They see the world through logic. So to them, the chasm is like a book. It opens vertically, like pages, and they find paths by making logical connections. Then you have the Ngangians. For them, it's a totally different ballgame. They're all about ritual, so they literally follow the smoke from an herb to surf along these invisible paths. And then there are the Wilsid. They're scientists. To them, the chasm is just geology. It opens sideways, and they map it with instruments.
And here's the part that'll bake your noodle. It's the same place. The underlying equation layer is the same for all of them. But their cultural viewport creates a completely different, physically real geometry. It's not an interpretation. Their worlds are just fundamentally different.
Now, you might be thinking this is all just some chaotic natural quirk of the cosmos, but here's the real kicker. This whole thing, it wasn't an accident. It was a design.
So let me introduce you to the architects, the timeless wizards. These beings exist outside of time itself. They looked at Altan's raw, unbearable potential and basically said, no, this needs some order. They're masters of structure, but their main goal wasn't making a world that made sense. It was making a world that could be contained.
And they pulled this off in 3 massive moves. First, they trapped this primordial force called the Vibrian. Second, they set up these things called the 7 councils, which act like giant dams to control and separate reality. And third, they created a repeating 5-month cycle, what everyone thinks of as seasons, to force time into a straight, predictable line.
So why go to all this trouble? Well, they wanted stability. They wanted the illusion of a linear history. They took this world of infinite, wild potential and made it into something you could understand, something you could grasp, and something you could own. But their grand design has one last hidden piece. It's their ultimate tool of control, and it's hidden where no one would ever think to look, in the silence. Their entire system, all of their control, it all hinges on one little secret: the number 6.
You see, everyone in Altan experiences that 5-month cycle. It's the rhythm of their lives. But what they don't know is that there's a secret 6th month. It's a silent pause in the music of reality that no one inside of time ever experiences. It's the cosmic reset button.
And during this hidden month, the wizards are busy. They're doing a full system reboot. They reset cosmic energies, realign the elements, they even tweak cultural memories. So any revolution, any real progress that happened in the last 5 months, it doesn't get erased. It gets absorbed. It becomes just another beat in their pre-written song, its power to create change completely neutralized.
And this sets up the central conflict of the whole world, right? On one side, you have the Wizard's Order, stable, predictable, but totally controlled. And on the other side, you have groups like the Chaos Nexians, who see themselves as the last spark of true freedom, fighting to shatter the whole illusion and bring back that beautiful, terrifying chaos.
Which really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? Is this stable, predictable world one that comes at the cost of true freedom, a paradise worth protecting? Or is it just a beautifully constructed prison that you'd want to escape?